are you still doing that calendar?
Oh yeah, we've checked out all sorts of cool stuff in January. Like...
On January 1, 1938, we checked out Hy-Vee history on the date Hyde and Vredenburg first filed for incorporation, and on January 2, 1812, we took a closer look at the legacy of Augustus Caesar Dodge on the day of the influential politician's birth. We cheered along with crowds braving the cold in Iowa City on January 3, 1856, when the first passenger train chugged into Iowa's then capital, before we headed west to Des Moines on January 4, 1904, to investigate a fire at the current Iowa State Capitol building. It's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's George Reeves of Superman fame, who took us to his hometown of Woolstock for his January 5, 1914 birth, and we fought the good fight with important advocate for Iowa's women's rights, Eleanor Elizabeth Gordon, on the day of her death, January 6, 1942. With great sadness, we visited the ashes of the infamous St. Elizabeth's fire in Davenport during the early morning of January 7, 1950, before we grappled with the legacy of far-famed Iowa wrestler Farmer Burns on January 8, 1937. We braced for the Super Bowl blizzard of January 9, 1975, and we sputtered along with the Waterloo Gasoline Traction Engine Company, inventor of the gasoline tractor and forerunner to John Deere tractor, on the date the company first organized, January 10, 1893. On January 11, 1887, we wished happy birthday to famed American naturalist and author Aldo Leopold, before we braved the elements for the Black Blizzard of 1888 and set the state's record low temperature in Washta in 1912, both on January 12th. We tapped our feet to the beat as we celebrated the birth of founding member of the Iowa Bandmasters and first organizer of the Iowa National Guard Band, George W. Landers, on January 13, 1860, and we took a look at the record-setting career of Iowa Governor Terry Branstad when he first took office on January 14, 1983. We checked out one of the first Carnegie Public Libraries in America on January 15, 1892, when famed American steel magnate Andrew Carnegie granted funds to Fairfield to construct the building, and we took the oath of office with Governor Robert D. Ray on January 16, 1975. The mother of women's suffrage in Iowa, Mary Jane Whiteley Coggeshall, gave us the chance to look at the fight for the vote on January 17, 1836, before we tipped off the first ever 5-on-5 basketball game on January 17, 1896, in the close gym at the University of Iowa. We stayed in Iowa City to reflect on the life and legacy of Hawkeye Hoops great Chris Street on the date the Indianola basketball star died in a tragic accident, January 19, 1993, and on January 20, 1982, we joined the crowd at Vets Auditorium in Des Moines for the infamous incident where Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a bat. We gathered with the Iowa Territorial Legislative Assembly to create a new capital in Iowa City on January 21, 1839, before we trekked with 55 bobsleds full of angry Dutchmen headed across Sioux County to steal the county seat on January 22, 1872. On January 23, 1934, we rode along with Bonnie and Clyde as the infamous American outlaws robbed the bank in Rembrandt, and on January 24, 1922, we bit into the history of the Eskimo pie on the date Christian K. Nelson of Ottawa patented his delicious dessert innovation. We headed to the Clink on January 25th, 1839, when the Iowa Territorial Legislature approved funding for the historic Fort Madison Penitentiary, and on January 26, 1996, we shivered as we braved a blizzard which dropped over a foot of snow throughout the state. Back-to-back Hollywood birthdays await us on January 26 and 27 as we first went to Denison to celebrate the wonderful life of actress Donna Reed, before taking a long journey to Cedar Rapids to celebrate actor Elijah Wood. An invitation to the opening of Terrace Hill in Des Moines took us to the Iowa Governor's Mansion on January 29, 1869, and we took a closer look at the Muscatine button industry on the date famed buttoner John F. Buckle died January 30, 1912. January 31, 1903 took us to Algona to get the scoop on Iowa newspaper magnate and one-time owner of the Cardiff Giant, Gardner Mike Cowles Jr., on the day of his birth.
Glad you came to Iowa City. Let's go to the Greenhouse Bar and have a drink.
Sounds great.
There's a lot of good history about Iowa a lot of people don't even know about.